And in this next demo, what I'm going to show you is our on-premise component and it working with application management. Before I jump into that, I want to just kind of highlight how we do on-premise. So as you can see, we surface on-premise environments, infrastructure in the same way as we do public cloud environments. We allow people to easily build clusters on-premise as they would with Amazon. With regards to ours, we do NetApp HCI, which is a set of equipment that we'll sell to customers. It comes with our storage and a VMware stack. And we allow you to register it with the platform. So when you're going through a process, you get to name your region. In our case, our region's named Nice Thor. If I wanted to, I can go ahead and just adjust the basic options of instance sizes. And as we move to from pre-release to GA with this offering, we will be increasing the complexity of this type of inventory list. But for now, we have medium, large, and XL. So we're just going to stick with the defaults. In this page, at this point I'm able to move on if I want to keep it in the default workspace, or if I wanted to, I could drop it into the dev workspace as well. Move on to the next step. Now, if I'm fine with all these settings, I can go ahead and click submit, and then we will begin to build a cluster, a Kubernetes cluster on premise in the region that we've named Nice Thor. In our case, the clusters are going to be running on equipment that we have deployed in a data center that's sitting behind a firewall out in Iceland. And so we're managing that environment from our, as you can see, we're managing this from our public cloud offering. And so we provide a single pane of glass to manage public cloud, cloud native infrastructure, and private on-prem cloud native infrastructure. And then additionally with application management on top of that, the workload on those environments. We approach everything through the point of view of a IT manager or a developer. So in this context, what I'm showing you is what an IT manager would be doing, or an administrator who's running these environments. Very similar to our public cloud work. You also are able to lifecycle these clusters. You can upgrade them. You can rotate certificates. You can add additional masters if you want to. You can add additional worker nodes to the default node pool. Or if you want to play around with mixing and matching different instance sizes, at later date we're going to be shipping things like GPU support, and so you'd be able to actually have a node pool of 0 GPU instances, and then add our autoscaler, which ships with the product, to those node pools, and then scale those orthogonally. So if you had the GPU instance node pool, you can actually set that to a size of 0, and then as you begin to schedule workload that needs those instances, we would spin those up dynamically and then tear those down dynamically. And so that works with public cloud with Amazon, and that will work in the same exact way with the on-prem work. So if you're interested, please contact us and we'll get you into a pre-release. This will be easily consumable. You can hit cloud.netapp.com right now, log in, and get an account with NKS. But what's cool here is I have both public cloud and private cloud, and I'm able to manage those environments. I can unify the Istio service mesh across cross clusters. I can begin to work with my applications and my workload running on these clusters so that I can like you saw in the last demo, get deployment. So I'm working with my own code base and I'm pushing out code from a repo, and when I make a commit to that repo, that it gets delivered to the target environment, or the target environments I want it to spin up inside of. Long term, our direction with application management is to graduate it to be able to support GitLab, GitHub, and Bitbucket, so that you can say on this commit to this branch, deploy to this cluster or set of clusters, and that'll be a very simple story that we're going to tell in the app. We don't intend on going too much further with the CI/CD side, but we want to be able to ensure that you can at least accomplish that type of task. And the other idea is that as you begin to do things like that, you should be able to commit to a test branch that gets pushed out to a test cluster, and then we're able to seed that test cluster with production data that we've replicated for you behind the scenes. So we are lifting up a lot of the NetApp core storage IP into Kubernetes and into NetApp Kubernetes services, and supporting things like being able, eventually be able to support things like snapshot my application, clone my application, move my application, migrate my application from on-premise to public cloud. We're able to do all of that because we have a single pane of glass, and this is the first step in that direction. Right now, we let you create clusters, manage day 1, day 2 type of activity on those clusters. You can install Prometheus from our packages list. You can install Elasticsearch and Kibana. You can use Tracker like I showed you in the last demo. But in this one, I'll show you how we simply deploy a package from the existing marketplace. So here I'm just going to dig into my app, my project. I'm going to go ahead and add a solution. As you can see, I've already added Nginx as an ingress, and I'm going to go and add Redis now to my environment. So I'm just going to choose this. I'm going to say, here's Redis, and I'm going to go ahead and just create this package. And now what's happening is we are deploying that out into your cluster. We're deploying it into the project, my new app. We provide you with information around this. If it provides output, we provide that to you. We allow you to go back in and reconfigure it and redeploy it if you want to. When there's a new version, we show you that new version once we've validated it. So we do a refresh of this marketplace, and we do validate these things so that they can deploy on the clusters and they can come online and they can work correctly for the users. And so we do that type of testing for each of these. And so as you can see, we've now got workload coming online. I've got 4 pods now up. I've got 1 currently coming online. You see I've got Redis in here. I can actually go and debug this if I want to look at what's going on, which is pretty neat. We also let you, if you wanted to look at this through the dashboard. So we do provide you a way of reaching your Kubernetes dashboard through NKS. And this will just show you various things. This is basically the in-project dashboard. We can go here and check out our namespace, my new app, which corresponds to our project. And in here, as you can see, I've got Redis slave, and everything is running just fine. And Redis master as well. I can go back into application management. If I wanted to say scale Redis, I could do so by simply just going back into my solution. I can go and into it, and then I want to scale it by just doing this and say I want to update it by 1. So now I'm going to update the slave. What's happening over here is, let me just refresh this. Is we're going to have a second pod come online, as given that we increased it by up to 2. So now what we should see 2 slaves coming online here once everything refreshes. So there you go. We have 2 slaves online and working. And you can decrement that, and so you can scale down. We show you the metrics for all of this as well. We show you aggregate logs. And so this is app management as it applies to the marketplace and managing applications on an on-premise cluster in the same way as you would do it with a public cloud cluster. That entire demo was done with on-prem, and that on-prem environment has no access to the public. We have no access to that cloud through the public internet, and we're managing it. So that's that. All right. Well, if you are interested, please reach out. Go to cloud.netapp.com, sign up for services, find us in our public Slack community, and start asking questions. Thank you. Bye.